So before I start on the different ways how you can make your middle game better, there should always be a few guidelines that you should follow in the middle game so that you don't make any major mistake. The first very important thing is that you should always have a plan. Having a plan is better than having without having a plan. Even if the plan is bad, it's always better to have a plan than not having a plan itself. Because when you have a plan, you know that there is one proper direction that all your pieces are following. You know that there is one way in which your brain is thinking. But if you don't have a plan at all your pieces will be uncoordinated and they would be scattered all over the place. One more thing is that always think before you move. Now, what are you supposed to think about? There should always be a few questions that you should ask yourself before you move, and after your opponent moves, what are you supposed to think about that move? When your opponent moves any piece, there's always some squares that the opponent is not guarding anymore. So you're supposed to see if you can take advantage of any of those squares that the opponent let down. Now, when the opponent plays anything, you should check why the opponent played that particular move, because obviously the opponent had some idea behind the move, right? So you should think about it. Can he capture any of your pieces? Can he take advantage of anything? Can he attack your king in some way? Can he attack any of your other pieces? Can he make your position worse? Those are the things that you should ask yourself when your opponent plays a move. Once you have seen what the opponent's ideas are, once you have seen what the opponent's threats are, you should see how you can defend against them. Now, if there is no immediate threat, what are you supposed to look for? You are supposed to look if you can capture any of your opponent's pieces, if you can take advantage of any of your opponent's weaknesses. When your opponent played that move, did he make a mistake? Did he leave some very important square behind? These are the things that you should think about before you play your own move. Now, when you play any move and if there is going to be a capture, right, you should always count your materials. So after that capture, who will be a better? Because in the past classes, I have shared the different values of the pieces, like of the queen, rook, the bishop, the knight, the pawns. You should always see that, oh, okay, after this capture, will I be having more pieces or will my opponent be having more pieces? If you see that even in one single variation, your opponent can have an advantage, do not play that move anymore, because you do not know what variation your opponent is going to play. And if your opponent thinks properly and does play the variation, you would be in a very bad position, right? Because now you have a losing material. One more thing that you should be very careful about is that if you're not leaving any of your other pieces hanging, so if suppose you're playing your knight or any of your pieces to a square advance, are you leaving any of your pieces behind? One more thing that you should be very important of is that always see that in the current situation, who is in a leading square. Like if your opponent is having an advantage, you should think how you can gain back the advantage. So the main idea is that don't give up. One more thing is that in the middle game is the point where there will be the winner or the loser will be decided, most probably, because the opening you are setting your foundation and in the end game you're just finishing off the game. So the middle game is actually when you're supposed to think about what's going to happen, how you're supposed to play. So it's very important that you keep your control over the center or over your winning side. How do you know which is your winning side? We can find that out through your pawn structure. So that is one more thing you should be very careful about. Maintain a strong pawn structure, because if you have a strong pawn structure, your opponent will not easily be able to enter into your side and come and attack you. The sides are usually white and black side. It's mostly divided by the 4 different ranks. So the first 4 ranks are of white and the next 4 ranks are for black. So this is how we divide your side and the opponent's side. So you should always be careful that you are protecting your side with a proper pawn structure. Don't move the pawns in front of your king a lot of times. In fact, don't move it at all, because once you move it, you're giving your opponent a chance to come and attack you. Only move it if it is very necessary. I know that I have said that checks are a very important part of the game, because usually when you keep giving checks to your opponent, there is a chance that the opponent might get pressurized or you might be able to checkmate your opponent. But don't give useless checks, because if you keep giving useless checks, you might actually, give your opponent the time and the proper, the foundation to come and attack you in a very proper way. One more thing is that don't give, when you give these useless checks, it's also known as an intermediate attack. Intermediate attacks, the attacks that are given without actually having a proper plan to support it. So if you only have one piece to attack your opponent's king, don't go and attack with that one piece. Wait, bring 2-3 more pieces and support that one piece to attack your king, one opponent's king. And if you think that you are going to be able to, attack your opponent's king successfully, always make sure that you have a minimum of 3 pieces attacking the opponent's king, and at least 2 more pieces are, pointing in that direction, so that you would have the option. So if suppose you lose one piece, you will be able to bring one more piece in attack. So coming to my next point is that don't give uncoordinated attacks, and don't leave out your own squares, because as I said in the beginning, your opponent is always looking for threats. Your opponent is also looking for a plan. We have to always think of the opponent as a really strong player, so that you don't overestimate your opponent but don't underestimate your opponent at the same time. So think equal. If you think good moves for yourself, also think good moves for your opponent. So whenever you play a piece, don't miss a weakness that you made in your own side. One more thing is that always look out for double attacks, always look out for tactics, always look out for pins, and always bring your rooks to the open files. Now, how do open files help the rooks? As I said before, the rooks move in a straight path, right? So when there is an open file, there is a very high possibility that your rook will be able to penetrate into your opponent's side and actually be able to carry out a successful attack. Now that I have said all these points, there is one very important point that you should always keep in your brain, and that is never give up. Never, just let your game slip. Even if you lost your queen against nothing, if you don't have a compensation for anything, no one said that your opponent will not make a mistake anymore. You can still either stalemate, or you might even end up winning the game. There have been many phenomenal chess players and also some players in the club level itself who have been able to flip over a completely losing game. So never give up, whatever happens. Now I mentioned that you should always look for pins, double attacks, forks. Now you might be asking, what are these terms?